All right, we are getting ready to start Rain World here pretty quick. We have began spinning up everything, and I think we are about ready to go. I hope you're looking forward to this run nearly as much as I am. Okay, so this run is Rain World by Dreki and commentary by Ice. Take it away.
Hello, I'm DrekiOrmur. I'm going to be running Rain World, and I'm joined by a colleague.
Hello, I am Ice. I run the Rain World leaderboard for the Rain World speedruns, and I'm here to help Dreki on commentary as they do their 100% run.
Yeah, and we are going to be doing Rain World as the Survivor Slugcat, which is the most common first-time playthrough, but we are going to be playing with the Downpour DLC, which has a number of changes. And with that, let's go ahead and get started.
Start time starts right when that circle fills. You can take it away, Dreki.
Yep, and we are already saving a bit of time by skipping a cutscene by holding a button as we start. Basically, to fill in what happened is our little Slugcat, which is what the little creature I'm controlling right here is called, was romping around with their family when the eponymous rain of this world washed them down some tubes, and we find ourselves in these outskirts. So we're going to eat a bit of food because we need to eat so we can rest. You can see in the bottom left, a bunch of little pips are getting filled up. We need to get up to at least that line. That fifth bat was being very nice and let me grab them. So the Survivor Slugcat only needs 4 units of food, but we can eat a few extra and they'll carry over to the next cycle. More importantly than satiation is I want to get to the shelter at a specific time, and we are off to a great start. So that trick right there you saw for me to get the high up berry is a wall pounce. We're going to see a few variations of that. But our usual bread and butter movement are going to be slides, pounces, and rolls. And we made it to the shelter with plenty of time to spare, so I'm just going to hug this wall. We want that lower timer to be a 122. We're going to let go. So what this is going to do, we're actually doing a bit of RNG manipulation. One of the things added in Downpour is a few more achievements, basically, that we're going to have to get. And one of them is a bit RNG based, but thankfully the community was able to find a way for us to manipulate that. We don't have to basically fish for them to spawn. What is it? Well, we will see shortly. And that is another type of wall pounce. While I go ahead and get some food, Ice, if you wanted to talk about any of the movement so far.
So,
Real fast, can I cut in? I'm so sorry. I do want to say thank you to Anonymous. We have, in fact, met the Rain World Downpour home ending. I don't know if how that's going to affect your routing, but we have officially met that target. So thank you so much to Anonymous.
yes, we'll change where we actually end the game, as there are actually 2 endings for this character that we can choose. Normally you choose one. This will be the longer ending. Also, we found here is our slug pup here. So we manipulated the game by saving at a certain time to make sure that this guy spawns, and spawns here right at the beginning of the run. And so right now we're trying to feed this guy. It can be a little bit annoying for him to actually grab the batfly, especially if the batfly is still alive. But we want to fully feed them and then get another berry as we get ready to karma cache with them. The idea with karma caching is every single time we rest, you notice the symbol in the bottom left now is in the middle of the screen there. That symbol will go up every time we survive a cycle or save properly, and it'll go down every time we die. In this case, we can also do a starve, which is essentially surviving the cycle but with not enough food. The game does not save, but our karma will go up. And so if we die, we'll go back multiple cycles, essentially. But for the game as it is, we can quit out in the first 30 seconds of the starve cycle. The game allows you to quit out the first 30 seconds of a cycle, and it will refund your karma, so you'll keep your maximum karma, but because the game didn't save, you are now in a non-starve state again, and so you've gone up in karma, but it's as if nothing happened, and you could do it again and again and again. This also helps progress on the passages. So for 100%, we want to get a bunch of things called passages or achievements. They're also tied to the Steam achievements, and they're all about certain actions you perform in-game. And for in the case of the slug pup, it's the mother. And so we need to help a slug pup survive for, I believe it's 3 to 5 cycles. I've forgotten currently.
5 cycles.
5 cycles, yes. And so we can't have the slug pup be starving when we're doing this. Otherwise, we're a bad mother and then we lose all of our mother progress. So we make sure that the slug pup eats before we do this starve. We're also going for a passage called the Martyr, which is just tied to starving. And so we'll get that immediately. And we're getting another passage called the Survivor, which is being at the maximum karma that we can possibly be at, which is karma 5, which is the one we're at now. It's forcing us to watch the sleep screen this time, which means that we've actually gotten a passage now, so we're getting the Mother and the Martyr. So the one important thing is the Survivor passage also locks a few other passages behind them. So we can't get some passages till we get that one, so that's an important thing. But I believe you're going to start moving around now.
Yes, so we're gonna leave our little mini us. They can keep this shelter. You know, it's not. There's perhaps some enemies around. Now that we're actually traveling the map, we'll get to see them. Some of the most common enemies we're going to be running into are these lizards, and they are color-coded for our convenience. So we got a green and a pink lizard. Now, all lizards have a bit of different habits and different stats. Green lizards are kind of tanks. They're very slow and lumbering. Pink lizards have less health, but they have the ability to climb poles, so they can be a little bit more tricky. And where I'm heading now, I think we've had enough time in the outskirts. We are going to head to a new area. I want to grab one of these blueberries real quick. I would also like that little yellow entity following us. That is an overseer. It's been named Iggy. More on them later. But I would like to take its eye, if it would so line up for me to spear it. But it does not look like it is allowing me to do so, so we'll just grab this karma flower instead. The reason I want the eye or this karma flower is we are going to be meeting some other creatures which can hold items, and they have set up a bit of a toll road we need to get through. I like to call the upcoming area the scavenger party zone because there's just a lot of potential things that can delay us, and it's usually a bit of a rambunctious time. There are a lot of lizard spawns, and scavengers don't have very good friend. Yep. Sometimes Rainbow gets you.
Yes, I can push you out of the pipe. And then it's a bit unfortunate. The pink lizards are also very aggressive, which is why they can be quite annoying. Whenever we're bitten by a creature, say that lizard, it also will have a chance to instantly kill you. And so for each lizard, that's a different percentage, and depending on how well you're doing, so there's a dynamic difficulty of the game, it'll also be a higher chance that you'll instantly die. And so we just rolled a bit unlucky. If we're getting bit by something and we don't instantly die, and we're holding something like a rock or a spear, especially the spear, we can then throw that and get out of its grasp. But in this case, we rolled poorly on top of it, pushing us out of the pipe, which doesn't normally happen.
Yeah, usually the pipe gives you a bit of invulnerability, a bit of safety, but just the way things align there, perfect storm. But those things happen, and is no problem. Now, the reason I had to go back and do a karma cache before going this area again is we actually need to be at maximum karma because the different regions in Rain World are guarded by karma gates, which have a minimum level. Oh, great. Okay, so this pink lizard is out here this time. This is a place of terrible geometry to try and pass by it. Pink lizards are a little bit more agile and sometimes can snap you out of the air. So we will just let it pass and get on our way. Alas, alas.
While we are on our way, I want to jump in real fast and say thank you, Steel Radiance, for the $50 to comment. Good luck, Dreki. We're all here with you. And that has officially also met the Mega Man Extreme 2 Glitch Exhibition. So thank you all so much for those donations and meeting those incentives that are available right now. And appreciate it. All right, I'll throw it back to you, Dreki.
No problem. So you may have noticed that I was sliding a bit faster than normal. Objects have many use. What are you doing here, Green Lizard? Okay, so this is. We'll just move on by. Objects, in addition to giving us a bit of momentum if we throw them forward, we can throw them backward and get momentum. So I'm sure Newton would be very happy to know how physics work here. Now, the Karma flowers take a couple of cycles to respawn. So the fact that we perished after grabbing one means it didn't respawn there. So that's going to pose an interesting problem. Okay, I want to get these pink lizards to chase me away. That one almost got my tail, but we've finally gotten through here. As you can see, there are a lot of lizards, but now we have to meet the scavengers. Now, we're in an unfortunate situation in that we don't have the Karma Flower, we don't have the Overseer Eye, so we're going to have to pay in spears. So this is going to be an expensive toll, and is also going to impact our ability to get the passage related to our reputation with them. So we are going to have to be very careful not to do anything negative, because usually we have a nice big buffer. I'm probably going to take some time to give them spears on from the other spear cache, if they will grab the spear. I'm afraid of picking up an item, because that will then reduce my reputation. So I'm actually going to go and see if I can grab...
Whatever one you just dropped, you should be able to pick that one back up. But
that is right inside a bunch of other stuff.
Yep.
So when you basically need 10 points of payment, spears are 3, so we need to give them 4. Okay, so he's waving us through, so we're good to go. Now there is a second cache, and this is actually another change in Downpour that added this and expanded this region. So it gives us a bit of safety. So I want to give them... we'll give them 3. Normally I would like to give them 4, but we're already having to eat a bit of time from lacking the Overseer Eye, which would actually pay all 10 up front. And the reason I want to pay the spears for the toll is there's a bit of a bug in that once you've paid a toll, any further items are basically, you know, toll's worth of reputation, so 10 points rather than the spears' normal 3. And we need to get about, I believe it's 85 to get the passage related to our reputation with scavengers. And there's some incidental benefits to having high reputation with the scavengers, as they are creatures we will run into potentially in most every area. So this is a Karma Gate. It is a set amount of time that it is going to cycle. This region that we're going into is the farm arrays. It is actually sort of usually the end game area, but we are going to take care of a couple things there first. Get them out of the way at the beginning.
So the thing about the Karma Gate is that, as we said, when we rest and we survive, we go up in Karma. When we die, we go down in Karma. All of the gates are the connections between the major regions, and so we need to actually be at those higher level of Karmas to actually travel between the world. We're also going to get the Survivor now because of the Karma Cache earlier, because of the death, so that actually works out, so we don't have to do it here.
That's not too bad. So,
Gonna start some other passages as well here. Yeah.
yes, Ice went over a couple effects of starving and some of its attributes. I am now going to be making use of a bit of a bug. So while starving, there are a couple malices that come into play. We can become exhausted if we exert ourselves, so throwing items, doing a bunch of jumps and rolls, so I'm taking it a little bit easy. But by being lighter, with these squid cicadas, which is what these little flying creatures are, we can use them to basically fly. Buddy, can you go in the pipe? All right. I just want to be careful because that little wiggling little blue things at the very bottom of the pillar is worm grass. If you tell a Rainbow player to touch grass, that is a threat because worm grass likes to hug you a little too tightly and it doesn't really let go. And while that blue worm grass was a little bit short and whoopsie daisy, get back here, squid cicada. Need him to go in front of me when I throw. Squid cicadas are a little bit of a pain inside pipes, but the alternative is one that I don't like dealing with. So this is a bit more stable in my opinion. The wormgrass has a bit of a longer cousin, which we are going to see in a screen or two. That red one's down there. Oh, there's something happening on this screen. I don't think we need to worry about that. We'll just continue on by. We are going to see even more. We're also going to see a reindeer. So the reindeer are the typical way of getting through these areas. They are immune to the wormgrass, and usually can ride on their antlers. They are interesting creatures that I have disagreements with. But as you can see, I am flying with the squid cicada. Basically, if the slug cat is light enough and you do a backflip, your jump button becomes an up button. And that is what we are making use of. This connection right here is something that was added in Downpour in the base game. You would just find that pearl there and it would be a dead end. So this gives us a second way of getting to one of the pivot points of the run that we kind of have to design the routing around getting to. Okay. You get through a few more areas, a whole bunch of bats. We got some baby centipedes. All sorts of amazing creatures and critters in the environment of Rain World. A lot of beautiful stuff in the background. Mostly I'm paying attention to the background because there is a flying creature that may or may not make an appearance. They usually can be foretold by shadows in the background. This is also why I'm hovering near the top of the screen, because I can usually confuse the AI by going off screen, and they don't know how to get me. It's my only defense while I slowly hover over, but we have made it all the way across. The squid cicada's job is done. Now, I don't need to be starving anymore, so we are going to eat to full, which is going to cleanse us of the negative effects of starvation, which is very good for the next leg of our journey in farm arrays. While this bubble fruit pops, you know what? We've already got schwacked once. I'm gonna actually take a safety save in this shelter real quick while I get some food, so I can rest. If you have anything to chime in with as far as the event,
I was just about to ask that. Speaking of going past beautiful things, I wanted to mention this very beautiful donation from Super Fluffy Koala for $25, saying good luck with Rain World 100%. Great to see so many 100% runs in one place. I can really agree with that. Some other amazing things is we have opened up some more targets, more incentives. We are looking for the Doronko Wonko 100% category upgrade, and if I have said that correctly, donate and let me know. And if I have not said it correctly, donate and let me know. And I will read those as well. And then we've also opened up Melatonin, all levels blindfolded category upgrade. I will remind that when you donate, you can go towards a poll and a target. You can do both. So make sure to maximize the effect of your money by selecting a poll and a target when you are donating. Like I said, The Sims 4, the main character, whether or not they are main sim body type, that was the phrasing I was looking for and woefully not using, whether or not they are male or female presenting. So make sure to select that. You can absolutely steal the lead on that one, and you can keep that lead for your particular choice. All right, Dreki, back to you.
Thank you, thank you. So those are the orange lizards. So their special ability is they come installed with Wi-Fi. What one orange lizard knows, all orange lizard know. They're kind of not too much of a threat individually. They have very low health. They're pretty slow on turning and reacting to you. But their Wi-Fi capability means they kind of swarm you as a pack, which can be a problem if you find yourself surrounded. Now, the Spore Puffs are a favorite snack of the reindeer we saw previously. So by throwing one, you heard a little animalistic ah! That means we've summoned a reindeer. All right. You can see that they are now showing up. Now, I'm actually going to leave the zone and go back in, because we are going to do something a little cheeky. Iced, if you want to explain deer skip.
So, main thing with the deer, the reindeer, R-A-I-N deer, they really want spore puffs. And if you put a spore puff in your stomach, it is magically disappeared for them, and they don't know how to deal with that. And so they, for some reason, will move downwards a certain distance when it magically disappears to them. If you are second into the room comparative to them, which is very important for the glitch for some reason, it'll make it so the world does not update, but you still update. So because the worm grass that we're trying to walk by is part of the world, it can't actually grab us, but we can still move, and the visuals won't update correctly. But we're moving through the world. We can pull the puffball out of our stomach at any point to end the glitch and have the physics not have to figure itself out for 2 minutes. And then we can have the world go back to normal, and then we can just carry on.
Yes. Now, I wanted to get to an odd number of satiation. Just, it'll make some things we're going to do shortly a little bit easier to manage. But we are going to say hi to something that is pretty important for the routing as far as all considerations. You know, imagine in 100% routes, you kind of have your immovable fixed points that you have to make your decisions around, and the location of the echoes is the major one for Rain World. I want to make sure I don't fall to the left, because I need to go down here. And this is an echo, a giant squid, spaghetti, golden black, and we're out. We're out. And our karma's higher now. So echo cycles are a bit special. They, in some ways, could be treated as a dream. Anything that happens in a cycle that you visit an echo kind of doesn't, actually. But the echoes will return you to your last save point. They will increase your karma maximum, and they will set you to maximum karma. But they will not be there if we try and go there again. Spooky. There are 6 of them that we need to visit. And now we are going down. Okay. So I'm always afraid I miss that. We are going even further down. Our next destination in these subterranean zones is a place I like to call the friend car. We are going to make a friend inside of a train car. Specifically that blue lizard. Maybe not this cycle. This cycle might be a bit of a wash. It really depends on whether they sit on that pipe.
One thing you may notice. Ooh, that was interesting. Clip to the wall. One thing you may notice, we're also what could be considered right near the end of the game, or at least both of the endings that are allowed to for the 100% are right nearby. We're going to be doing one later. Because of how passages work, once we get one, we can then use the passage to teleport. So we're going to be getting our friend here. He's having some trouble picking up the centipede because he made that special noise. He's now our friend. We're now going to steal his food from him because he's our friend, and also it makes it so we can move him around a bit more. So he doesn't go back to his den because we want him to go back to our den because we need to rest with them to actually get the friend passage.
I actually need some food as well, so I'm gonna let him hold on to that while I go get my food.
Hopefully he doesn't go too far away. You could probably also eat the centipede, but it depends on what you're okay with.
No, that's the one I'm keeping
we need
for
more.
starving, so I can get in truism. So as I mentioned earlier, whenever we get a passage, we're kind of forced to watch, but that animation is the same length, whether it's one or whether it's multiple. So I'm trying, if our friend here would get out of the way. There we go, buddy. All right, now follow me. We're going to be getting 3 passages all at the same time. We're going to get friend, and then while we get, stay. While we're getting friend, we're going to get saint, and we are going to get hunter. So saint is basically not threatening any creature for 6 cycles. It counts, say, if you threw a spear near a creature, that can sometimes ruin your saint progress. If you spook creatures, that can work as well. Hunter is basically we need to eat only meat. For the survivor, there's not as many options for eating meat as some of the other potential slug cats. So what I'm doing is we are again using karma caching, but this time we are holding on to the food item as we cache, and it counts us as having eaten it. So we are getting credit for eating meat for that cycle that we cache out of, and we are getting saint progress because we are not harming anything. We're just eating it, which is obviously not harm. Makes sense in Rain World logic.
Yes, that first cycle where we just kind of picked up bat flies out of the air and picked up a baby centipede and just ate it while it was still alive, that's not us killing it. Oh, it is, but it wasn't us. That's just us eating. So we don't actually lose Saint, and so we'll still get progress even though those cycles. So we actually got the Saint there and Friend at the same time. Hunter's got decent progress. We also get to see the Chieftain a bit there, and it's at an okay position. Chieftain is for the reputation with the scavengers that we saw back in Outskirts. Now, one thing about the reputation we want to have with the scavengers is that we want to get to 80, as Dreki said, positive 80 rep with them. We start at 0. You can only go a cap maximum of plus 50 every cycle, and we went about plus 40, plus 30 when we actually gained rep with them earlier. So if we go back and get another plus 50, plus 40, plus 50, we'll get the passage as we want it. But right now we're just karma caching for passages.
Okay. I think one more cache and then rest. Yep, go ahead.
Well, I was like, while you're karma caching, did want to say thank you to Shrub for $10, saying rain in this world, it's more likely. I can appreciate that. So thank you so much for that donation. We still got a little bit of time?
Yep.
Okay. So just want to say thank you to everybody who's making all of those polls and incentives happen. Also, we have officially raised $150. I am super proud of this community. We are working towards our goal. So thank you so much for everyone to continue to make that happen. Be sure to share this with your friends, family, and other acquaintances at your workplace. Together we can make this happen, and every little bit does help. So I'll throw it back over to you, Dreki. What you got?
All right, so I think this, either this cycle or one more will give us Hunter, but regardless, we are good to go ahead and satiate ourselves and rest because, okay, so we did get it on this cycle. Perfect. Those passages aren't called passages for nothing. They are also a fast travel token. We are going to be leaving our friend behind. The lizard just couldn't dance.
Got compacted by the shelter closing. I'm sure he's fine though.
The one cool thing about all of the passages is they all have unique art. I don't want to go to the outskirts. We're going back to farm arrays way, way back when we first rested.
It's good to see the map a little bit. Not something we don't normally look at too much, but we want to make sure we actually teleport to the correct shelter that we saved in. So we're right next to outskirts again. Blue lizard gets brought with us.
Oh, somehow our friend made it with us.
I've forgotten that it does that. Which is very fun.
I thought he was outside, but you know, I guess he made it in by the logic of Rain World. All right, buddy.
So now that we've seen our first echo, there are actually two types of echo. There's an echo that is always there at all times, regardless of anything. And then there's the more common echoes that you need to first go into the room where they are. You'll see a bright flash. And then the next time you go to that room, while at your highest karma, or if you've already met an echo at one of your higher karmas, then there'll be an echo there as well. Each time we meet one of these echoes, as we've kind of said before, our maximum karma goes up, and we are essentially getting the slashes of an X. So we're getting our second slash here, and getting one more maximum karma.
All right. So we saw another Sky Spaghetti, and we are now done with farm arrays. We're going to go back through the scavenger toll. Ideally, we want to pay off. I'm going to give them some bribes. They love pearls. We've got 2 pearls. That means they're going to double love us. We're going to be resting in... We're going to be tapping one other location that we don't really want to explore, but one of our passages involves visiting and resting in every single region. So we are going to be resting there and then using another passage, and we will be continuing into a new place. It will be kind of a hub. Uh-oh, this is not good. All right. So I'm worried they might friendly fire me, so I am moving out of the way. You heard that deflection. Lizards have an armored head that actually reflects weapons. So you kind of need to get at them from above or behind where they are vulnerable. They're in a bit of a standoff here. Seems that pink lizard's having trouble getting a hold of that scavenger. I don't want to throw my spear though, because if I hit that scavenger, that's murder, and I lose reputation for that. Oh, this is a very awkward spot. Ooh, all right. Ooh, that was close.
So scavs, as with any creature in this game, every single creature spawns with certain stats that determine their abilities, essentially. Each kind of creature, like every color of lizard and just scavengers in general, all will generally act the same. But when it comes to scavengers, you can generally tell how their stats go and how they change. So depending on how good they are wielding a spear, they might super overshot the pink lizard and then just hit you instead. Just because of how they act and will throw the spear. So that is what we're worried about.
Now, it is a bit unfortunate that I couldn't get that pink lizard, because we do need to get a smorgasbord of lizards killed. This is a good spot. Alright, I'm going to give them 2 more spears just in case, because they're not being very consistent on what is being picked up. Unless they pick it up, it does not count. There we go. Okay, so let's see if we can get some of these lizards. Oh, nope, those are green lizards. We will leave them. It seems all the pink lizards went away. All right, off we go. That is
unfortunate there, yes. Yeah. There might be one that fell down here. We're getting this pearl here. Special surprise for later.
Yes, it is a secret. Blueberry.
Also, while we're here, this is something we wanted to talk about earlier, but it's probably going to talk about now. It's just the game in general, especially the movement of the game, compared to a lot of other games. A lot of other platformers, otherwise, you're kind of a square that just has special abilities or can move in certain ways. As for our character here, although we can stand in our upright state and we basically have very consistent movement, we can also have our laying down state, and otherwise if we're influenced in certain ways, we won't be on our static upright state. So we got to think about that when we're moving quite a lot. And when it comes to actual movement, this game only has the WASD and then throw, grab, and I can't say words right now. But we can eat and we can throw, and we pull up the map, and we can jump. There's not a lot of buttons that we really have to work with, but if we do what is essentially fighting game inputs, we can do a lot of different movement. We just saw Dreki do their really big slide. And as we kind of said before, some of our main movement in the game that all other movement are built on, or at least most movement, however we're kind of floating midair with vaults, is we can do backflips, we can do rolls, and we can do slides. And those are the main components of all of our movement. When it comes to slides, we start a downwards diagonal input and jump at the same time while standing up or running along. We'll start a slide, we can press jump again to jump out of it, or we can throw an item behind us to boost the slide on the ground. But right now we're in drainage, which is the water area. We're going to try to not stay here very long. We're just going to be saving at the first shelter we can run into here.
Yes.
We're also still kind of thinking about killing a lizard here. We want a passage called the Dragon Slayer, which is killing one thing of each lizard. You should be able to just fall right by them.
He's kind of horizontal blocking the whole way. So that is an axolotl. Not only does it not count for Dragon Slayer.
I wouldn't worry about throwing unless it grabs you. Yes.
I was trying to drop, hit it, and then keep going, but it all worked. Good stuff. All right, so because I was unable to get a pink lizard, I'm really going to want to get one in our next couple regions, because then we're kind of going to be out of where pink lizards tend to be. I'd have to waste a lot of more time going out of my way to get one.
Depending on how you're entering Sky Islands, that might also be one in there that you can get. Also starting to get... we all have Chieftain.
Very
and
good.
We're starting to get Nomad here as well, which is just moving between multiple regions within individual cycles, so we're just not staying in the same region each cycle. Watching the Martyr Passage, as I believe we're going back to Outskirts here.
Indeed. So one also useful thing to passages is that they actually basically consider as if you've gotten a full stomach. So even though I ended that last cycle with bare minimum satiation, we're coming into this cycle with as if I had the 3 carryover. So that'll make it a little bit easy on our eating situation.
Some cases,
like a sphere.
Yes. Some cases this matter, but whenever we do a passage, it also considers the game state to have progressed 5 cycles. This won't matter too much for us, but if we started killing creatures, if we personally kill a creature, there's a chance that when it respawns, it either won't respawn or it'll become a much harder, more difficult creature. And additionally, with any food that we eat, it'll only come back and respawn after a certain amount of cycles, which is relevant at times, but we're not staying around too long in a lot of areas, so we're not going to worry about too much. Just an extra little quirk. Bro, we've hanged out a long time on the left side of the map here. We're now going right into the middle of the map, this being Industrial Complex.
Oh, hey, that's a spear.
Perfect spear.
You need a spear so I can do that. Oh, hey, and a backup sphere.
Right. So I believe you're gonna go off to the right side, or are you gonna go to garbage waste first?
I'm gonna go rest in industrial.
Okay. But industrial, being the center of the map, is connected to a lot of different regions. There's a new region that exists for all characters called Pipe Yard that is also connected to industrial. So we're also going to be going there.
Hey, Pink. Come on, buddy.
Decent Pink. He doesn't know you're there, actually.
I think they're stuck.
No, even though you've hurt him because he hasn't heard you or felt you, he doesn't know you're there.
Yeah, I need my rock back. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Ooh. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
And one extra. So, even though pink lizards normally take only about 3 spears to kill, get a little extra. You know what? I'm gonna ignore what's going on over there. So, death and killing in Rain World is a little bit more fluid than you might think. Whenever you reduce a creature's health to basically where it would be perishing, it doesn't immediately die. It starts rolling to die. And for every basically unit of health below its health, below its, 0 basically, it'll hit that death number faster or more likely. Ooh, mouth sphere, perfect. So, while it's not dead, they'll have brief moments of lucidity where they might snap at you, and it is a very embarrassing way to perish.
Not sure if that white lizard was dead, but one big thing, at least about the pink lizards, is that we do 1 damage. Because we're playing Survivor, there's 9 slug cats in the game. Playing Survivor, which is the basic one that most people play right when they start. Survivor does 1 damage. A pink lizard has 2 health. So if we hit them twice, they go to 0 health. They cannot die at 0 health, if that even makes sense. So you have to hit them 1 more time before they even have a chance to start dying. And even if that means hitting them with a rock does 1/100th of the damage that a spear does. So if you hit them with a rock in the soft body and 2 spears, they will start having chances to die every frame.
Yes.
Now we're going to be getting all those other side areas we talked about, pipe yard and garbage waste.
Yes, industrial is a bit of a hub area. We'll be coming here a few times. It's a nice centrally placed. Now, I know we had a blue lizard a while ago, and we just dealt with a white lizard, but we kind of haven't talked about their attributes. The blue lizard can actually walk on the backgrounds. They can climb up and go around. They have a bit of a sticky tongue, so they can actually take spears out of our hands. Camos can do the same thing, but they're a little bit better. Right, it's a little dangerous, but I do need a green kill. Uh-oh. Missed my rock. I want to be careful here. We're going to get him to come over here on flat ground. You don't want to waste this. This red spear is dynamite. And basically instantly killed that lizard. We are going to want to do that a second time. So we can be a real dragon slayer by killing a jumpy boy.
So
yeah. I was just
when...
going to talk about the scavenger.
Yep. Oh, for the scavenger tool. Okay.
Yeah, you might have noticed that that area I went into didn't have one of those glowing rings like all these other pipes that we've been going through have. And that's because there are some hidden areas in Rain World, and that is a scavenger stash. And we can, you know, trade items. Sometimes scavengers are in there and we can trade items with them, or they have helpfully stashed a whole bunch of nifty stuff in there, notably their explosives, and we avail ourselves of their tools. All right, looks like they're in the other room. So while I try and kill this caramel, I believe you had something you want to talk about?
So, well, one, we get to see Vulture for the first time, I believe, in this run. Also, we get to see this caramel guy. I don't know if that hit him. It might have hit the wall. Seems like they're dead because the scavengers are still don't care. Don't really know what they're doing. Vulture coming down's a little annoying. All right,
You're on your own, scavenger.
Doesn't matter. So that caramel lizard isn't normally there in the base game, but we have Downpour on. Additionally, with the Dragon Slayer, there's the base Rain World colored lizards. And there are a few others that were added when Monk and Hunter got added. Those don't count towards Dragon Slayer, but now with Downpour here, it added a few other lizards. And those lizards and those previous lizards are added when Monk and Hunter were added. All will count toward Dragon Slayer. So we're not so rigidly defined having to get exactly the certain amount of lizards. And that caramel lizard is one that was added, or at least it replaced a green lizard. And so we kill that guy so we don't have to kill a different colored lizard later. So now here we're going to just starve at garbage wastes here. We don't want to have anything. We don't want to have anything to do with garbage wastes, and so we just starve. We get the Wanderer Pip because we want to sleep in every region once, and we can just quit out immediately, and then we're back to the last save that we're at. I didn't actually check if we did get that caramel kill. I assume we did. However,
that is a good point. Next time we get a passage, check. All right. Now we're going to be doing another Starve War, but this time with Pipe Yard. I do like the Pipe Yard music. The Pipe Yard region, however, can be a bit maddening to navigate.
So, as I like to call it, and a lot of other people have also liked to call it, the Pipe Yard is the back rooms of Rain World. All of the entrances are not exactly places you would expect. They are slightly hidden to some degree, and it is very hard to get out of as well. Or at least, because we're so used to the base regions, and this is a new region added with the Downpour DLC, no one really knows how to properly navigate it even now.
Ooh, nice.
And it is not used for a lot of speedruns, and only one really goes there that isn't 100% that has to go there.
What is it, Gourmand?
Gourmand Food Quest goes there because there's a lot of good stuff to eat, and you need a red centipede, and it gets you up to Sky Islands, which is a lot of unique things. But we're not taking any of the shortcuts touted about by Pipe Yard. Do not believe their lies.
They seem like shortcuts. Then you see the things that you're cutting through, and it doesn't seem so fast after all.
So you have the option to go through like 3 regions, or you can go through Pipe Yard, and only Pipe Yard, and going through 3 regions is faster. It's for a lot of connections, as an example. Which is why we generally don't go through Pipe Yard. Although, maybe one day we'll find a lot of strats for Pipe Yard. There's a lot of what could be considered one-way drops or one-way directions. If we find better movement or setups to actually be able to go through the opposite direction through a lot of these one-way drops in some of these rooms, could be a lot more useful in the future.
Yeah, and routing certainly isn't set in stone for some of these, especially the longer ones, like 100%. I know Grub earlier might have been mentioned. They are someone I've been... they also run 100% category, and we've been going over some theories and other possible changes to the route. Some stuff that's a little bit more risky, so I didn't really make too many changes for the marathon. Yeah, I already had to do a lot of changes than what I would be doing if I was trying to improve my PB. This could be a lot more risky, and there's a few things that can make things more difficult, such as way earlier in farm arrays, rather than resting there, sometimes I will immediately starve there, which has an additional benefit of another bug not typically seen in these runs, which is called double spawning, which makes the region very interesting because it does exactly what it sounds like it does. It doubles all of the creature spawns in the entire region. But it saves a little bit of time between resting and then starving.
I think this is also as we're entering into Chimney, which is starting to get into the upper area of the map here. You also originally had a different strat for getting friend, if you wanted to talk about that.
Yes. So I was on the fence whether, because I recently thought about it and implemented it. We would basically, rather than using the friend car down in Subterranean, we would leave all of that subterranean region for the end game, and we would be getting our hunter and friend up here in Chimney, because there is a shelter right above this gate. The way we'd be doing this is I would actually bring the slug pup with me, and I would come up through here. Now, we mentioned that we were feeding the slug pup. We had to care for the slug pup. If we don't feed the slug pup will enter a starving state, and then if it goes another cycle without being fed, it will perish. Now, the thing is that slug pup meat is delicious. All the lizards want it. However, we can't give them our slug meat because that kills us. We can, however, give them our perished slug pup, and it's like it's like lizard nip. They will immediately lock onto it, and we can tame one of those pink lizards very, very easily. It has its own problems compared to the friend car strategy, so that's why I was kind of even odds. Oh, this is not good. Okay, I wanted to do a wall turn climb, but this room is... Oh, this is the Chimney Pipe of Doom. It is the ending of many runs, because there is no way around it. You are going through this pipe. Okay, that actually turned out a lot better than it could have. And the fact that a bunch of the camos are already here means the next couple rooms are probably going to be less dangerous.
I think also kind of just stated, well, first, I believe you do an interesting movement right here. Ooh,
Unfortunately not.
Didn't get it. You can do a wall pounce off of there, and you fling back up and go up on the block directly above you, which we're getting to right now. But the other interesting thing that I believe is why you want to starve the slug pup is, although you can straight up just stab the slug pup, I believe the lizards will not accept a slug pup that's been stabbed by you. So you need the slug pup to actually starve to actually be able to feed it to lizards.
Yeah,
your friend, which is a very interesting setup.
Yeah, they will prefer to go for you over the slug pup, except when it is already perished, and then they will just lock onto the slug pup, making it very easy. The trade-offs is that there's still a bunch of other lizards. I got one more chance. Alas. There's still a bunch of lizards that could try and go for it. There's also those vultures, which could swoop down and either snatch the lizard we just tamed, or snatch the slug pup meat. Either of those would be an inconvenience. However, going with the friend car, the blue lizard is very distractible. We actually got pretty lucky in some aspects for how that blue lizard was. We're gonna try and bait this camo lizard down. And they sure went down all right. Lovely.
Also kind of stating it or thinking about it should be good the rest of the way. We also get to trigger another echo here. We're going to see that same flash we saw in Farmer Raids. But as you see the movement Dreki's doing going up pipes, that is called fast pole climb. Essentially what we're doing is when you're holding a pole, you're either centered on the left or the right side of the pole. And we center ourselves on one side of the pole, jump off towards the direction of the other side of the pole, and then re-grab the pole, and then do that going back and forth constantly over and over again. So yes, it is easy just to straight up jump off if you mess it up by a slight cadence issue. So it's very good to see it in runs. Otherwise, you'll do it for a little bit, and then you'll press jump an extra time and slow down, which sometimes also happens.
Our secret pearl, and we're just gonna leave it here actually for a minute. Okay, so we just got a passage. What passage did we get? Nomad. Nice.
Nomad,
all right,
almost
we are good on
monk.
Dragon Slayer. All right, and we just need. We're gonna be getting our last flavor of lizard or Dragon Slayer soon. I have a sky spaghetti to perceive real quick. You can also see this weird kind of floaty, ethereal sort of effect going on. Echoes, in addition to raining down flecks of gold upon us, have a kind of pacifying effect on the area that they're in. So any monsters would be asleep. Sometimes that can be quite amusing in the Chimney Canopy one in particular, because the vulture spawns are in a nebulous skybox, and so they can just fall from off screen and just go on down. But we can still move, even if it's a bit floaty. Ugh. Oh, now you give me an object to throw. Okay, game. Rimworld giveth, Rimworld take us away. Wait, hold on. Hold on, I gotta talk to you about my car's warranty. I don't even know what a car is.
Gone forever. Mercedes-Benz acquired. All right.
All right.
We have 3 spokes of the X here. Although we only need to meet 4 echoes to get to our maximum karma that we could possibly have. There are 6 echoes, as well as another thing that can increase our karma. We're going to be seeing that other thing fairly soon. Otherwise, I did want to specify one thing. There is, of passages, just kind of state it, we're talking about Hunter. Hunter is eating meat. Monk, which we're close to getting here, Monk is eating vegetables, like the blue fruit. Blue fruit is actually bug pupa, which I think is very funny, gives you monk, but who knows. And then there's Saint, which is not hurting things, and then there's Outlaw, which is hurting things. In a lot within a very short amount of cycles. Just some examples of some of the passages that we're getting over time. We're going to be finishing Monk here, and I believe right after we're going to be start thinking about Outlaw, which is killing things, but we're entering the wall now.
Yes, the exterior is a very large region, actually broken up into a couple sub-regions, but we are only going to be concerning ourselves with the wall. Typically, when you're playing through, you won't be able to go up the wall unless you know a few particular tricks. So we're kind of going backwards than intended. Don't worry about that. Now there is a specific creature that I want to keep an eye out for because it has 1 spawn per survivor and it is here in the wall. And I always forget about it unless I am consciously thinking about it. And that is the Dropwig. The Dropwig is an entity that likes to drop on things. And it hides in the ceiling. And it likes to drop tasty little enticing treasures below it to bait you.
now that they removed the one in Chimney, I believe this is the only one in Survivor. Although for other characters, there either
There it is.
will be 0 or there will be all over the place. There's one hidden. It's right in the middle of the screen, slightly off to the right. Is on the ceiling, hidden with the vines there. That's the most common place for it to be, but it can also be, say, right above the little alcove there, and that pipe we're trying to get to above us.
It could
So
even
that guy,
be a few screens up.
yes, that guy drops on you and you die. That's what happens.
So, you may have seen much earlier blue versions of the yellow overseer that's been following us, Iggy. And now you're seeing many of those blue ones. So those overseers are actually sort of like little, helper computer things of some entities. And they are watching us as we climb. They're most curious at the slug cat. Okay, nope, we're gonna go to the second level. Oh!
Okay.
I wasn't able to hit it with a rock fast enough.
So in the wall, there'll be a bunch of orange lizards, there's a blue lizard, there's the drop wig, and there are 4 white lizards. The 4 white lizards very rarely fall down into the room that we just got bitten in, so it's really weird to actually see it there.
Yeah, it is very unfortunate that I did not catch it fast enough to evade it. Seems like, I don't know, I feel like they gotta be programmed that way, but it always feels like the camo lizards like to hang out right on screen transitions as well, just to make them extra tricksy. I'm gonna take this a little
The other
slow.
annoying part was that white lizard also bit you and instantly killed you. White lizard, I think it's either blue or white lizards have the lowest chance to actually instantly kill you on a bite. So it's kind of funny that did happen that way. Although we do have our dynamic difficulty is pretty high right now. So it is definitely more likely for us to die anyway. But still, lowest chance to instantly die, and it still happens anyway. It's happened 2 for 2 on a 1/3 chance, essentially.
I mean, it wouldn't be a marathon without the marathon luck, am I right?
Hey, while you are... Go ahead. I was going to say, while you're running it back, do you mind if I read a few things, or...
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So, yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about who we're actually raising money for. So Girls Make Games believes in providing every girl and woman with the opportunity to discover their potential and talents through gaming and game development. And with your donations, you're able to contribute directly to the Girls Make Games Scholarship Fund that provides girls and women with the resources and opportunities to pursue careers in gaming through GMG's many programs, such as their 2024 college scholarships, summer camp scholarships, and the new mentorship and internship programs launching later this year. So go check it out. This is something that's super important to me as well, being the father of 2 amazing daughters. I hope that one day the gaming will be a better and safer space for them, as well as giving them the opportunity to make games if they so choose. So this is something that's super close to my own heart. So yeah, just wanted to read that out a little bit. And just also to remind you, don't forget we have some new incentives and some polls out there. We are trying to raise 75 for Doronko Wonko 100% category, as well as the melatonin all levels blindfolded category. We're trying to raise $100 for that. So I think we can make that happen, as well as the body type for our sim. You can steal that right now, and that will be the lead. So when you're donating, make sure that you're selecting a incentive and a poll, because that way it will maximize what your money is doing. So I'll throw it back to you, Dreki. What you got?
All right, so we've returned from whence we perished. I'm trying to get up. I had it up once.
And you did this jump the first try, and now... Oh, there we go. Okay.
All right. Okay, so... I mentioned that orange lizards have Wi-Fi. And over here are the communication towers. Or at least my theory is that the orange lizards have like, they're kind of like how sharks have like those EM fields. I feel like that's how orange lizards be. That's why they tend to be in these communication areas. Somehow they haven't noticed me, but I don't want
you
to.
gotta go down there. I don't think they respond to sound very well. I don't know where they all are. There's literally one guy. But also the skip Dreki originally did up the right side of the wall is called orb skip. Generally, we don't come back here, but we want an orange kill. Now that they're all converging on our location, our fate is all but sealed. Honestly, the orange lizards are not much of a threat outside of the fact that they do have numbers. One thing that kind of state about creatures in general, and you'll notice this especially for certain creatures, is that other than for centipedes, large centipedes, the lizards and vultures need to actually charge their bite before they can actually grab or bite you. And so they need to see or know that you're there for a certain amount of time to be able to open their mouth wide enough before they can actually bite you. If a lizard has a lick and they've done their lick, they need to then recharge either their lick or their bite afterwards as well, which can give you a chance to get by them.
Oh, come on, guys. I need one to fall and not go all the way. Okay.
There should still be one getting up there. There he is.
I had them lined up, then we had two at once, which would be fine. I could quickly double spear. These lizards are being very silly. Okay, this one. There we go. That's what I was trying to set up for one of those other ones. You know what? This is a silly place. We'll just go this route. Hey, buddy. Don't mind me. Okay, so we got orange. So that does it for Dragon Slayer. Now, Ice mentioned the 4 camo lizards. We have 4 more screens we need to get through. And those camo lizards are going to be our biggest hazard. Starting with up here.
So you'll notice there's kind of like a
maybe?
break between this upper and there's 2 of them there.
Yeah, oh yeah, there's the second one. All right.
So generally they don't fall from this upper part down to the lower part. They like to fall right there a lot, however, if they're chasing something. Don't have a spear, but can jump on that block on the poles as before.
Oh, unfortunate Dreki. Unfortunate Dreki. Oh, very unfortunate. Okay. We have a spear now.
Take our time getting back there as all of the orange lizards fall off the edge. It's fine too.
Fail.
It is another visual of why orange lizards aren't that good.
So, while we are taking it a little slow so we don't perish, because dying is the biggest time loss of all, normally in Rain World, we have a timer. You may have seen like little pips around the karma circle on the bottom left, especially when I check the map now and then. Trying to drop. The wall, this area, is actually so high up, it's above the clouds. We don't actually have to worry about the rain. In fact, we will actually see the nighttime if we are so unfortunate as to be so delayed. We may even see one more of the Downpour added lizards. One of my favorite, the cyan lizard, which if you thought orange lizards were goobers, imagine strapping a rocket to the back of a lizard. And that's a cyan.
Like cyan can actually kill you.
They can, if they can figure out how to get to me. Okay, so that is
Still think there's 2 more.
2 left.
There's one.
Okay, that one's... Need him a little bit higher up so I can...
Should just be able to go up the pole. He's looking straight at the wall.
Yeah. Don't know where the 4th one is. That jump scare. There's the 4th lizard.
Okay, worked out
It's
all right.
not a good spot for it, though. Whoop. There we go. Another wall pounce. Wall pounces, there's a variety of ways of doing a wall pounce. Essentially, all you need is to be in a crouching state and having some momentum against a wall and hitting jump right as you make contact with it.
So generally, this is the screen where it's like hide and seek. Where's the white lizard? Because it literally can be anywhere. As very often on screen transitions, we like to go. A lot of people like to go to the left here and up that screen transition, and often we'll run into things. They don't often camp in the 1x1 pipes that we're kind of crawling through, but there are sometimes get stuck in them and will sit there, which is really annoying. There's also the top of this screen. The top of this screen, the foreground is actually shifted a bit. So if there's a white lizard kind of laying upside down in the bottom right next to this pipe here, it is impossible to tell if it's there. Although the camel lizard will always camo to a flat color, and the eyes will always be able to see the black eyes and the mouth. It can hide that in front of the foreground, which will make it very hard to see.
All right, a couple more minutes of delay, and we might have seen a cyan lizard and the beautiful, beautiful night sky. It's such a shame that you can only see it in this region, because the pixel art and the backgrounds in Rain World are so beautiful. I think this might be Outlaw. It's Dragon Slayer, right? That's what I got. No, our out. Yeah, we're gonna have to.
We need a lot more kills for that. Need one more per month because we died.
I forgot our perishing.
Progress.
Yeah, dying not only loses us karma, it can also lose us passage progress for a lot of passages. So, 2 of the 4 camo lizards have a home den here, and perfectly, we want a slow lizard or a fast lizard. We have slow lizards, so that is acceptable. The only thing worse is a medium, because the camo lizards, amusingly enough, are coded to be afraid of this room. So they tend to skedaddle once they get out of their home dens.
Also why we see them so low down on the wall, even though they live all the way up here. It's kind of funny, if you do die to them, you can just follow them. Well, as they drag you up, you can see what's happening. And you'll just see the entirety of the wall.
Hello, Sky Sketty. Give me your recipes.
This is our 4th echo. We're now at our maximum karma. Need 2 more echoes. Both are also relatively nearby, but we're going to start meeting the first of 2 NPCs that exist in the game, if you want to talk about that.
Yes. So, I think we kind of forgot to talk about the overall... Oh, that's a first. I haven't seen a lizard go that direction without me being up there first. I need my spear. So, for 100% in Rain World, what that entails is all of the passages. We need to meet 2 of the NPCs, as Ice has mentioned. We need to get the 1 upgrade, such as it is, that exists in Rain World. And then we need to do something that isn't listed on the final score screen, but is considered to happen canonically within the world of Rain World. And then we have to get the one of the 2 endings. It was 1 ending, but Downpour has a 2nd area, which y'all did meet the incentive with. So we are going to see one of the regions added to Rain World with Downpour. And I'm really happy to show that off, because that is a really cool area. And it's a kind of a fun ending, too. And we also, as far as canon events, we need to bring something to the second of the NPCs. The NPCs are the ones that these overseers are reporting back to. In some ways, you could say we have already met the NPC. By some definitions, as they are a very large entity.
So, lore moment. We get to see we have climbed on top of a giant superstructure. This whole superstructure is the housing of this one character we're meeting here in a second. And on top of the housing is also, well, a city that exists in the background. Now, we don't get to go there as this character. Get to go there as a different character. And so we are just going to be going and see our friend here in the region that is called Five Pebbles.
Yes. 3 guesses as to what this entity's name is, and the first 2 don't count. There's also going to be a bit of monologue from them, so we will have a bit of time. If you need to grab a quick glass, you will have a minute soon where we will be stuck listening to them. First, I need to get an amount of food. Need to get 5 units of food, 1 short of maximum. 5 is the number we are going to eat. 4 is not enough, and 6 is far too much. There we go. Very important. You're also going to see some paintings in the background. There's going to be 5 of them. Yes, this game, if you haven't guessed by the nature of things being called cycles and karma, there is a bit of a through line of transcendence and, rising above one's natural state. I can't. Ice, do you know which the symbols correspond to off the top of your head?
So as we start the game, we have our maximum karma is karma 5. So we can go through karma 1 through 4. And then once we get echoes, our maximum karma becomes an X. So across the amount 1, and then 2, the karma goes, it'll be aggression, things like lust, and then as companionship, gluttony, and then survival are the karmas that it has listed that we start with at the beginning of the game.
Oh no. What is he doing to me? 5 pebbles, no! Oh, he gave me a pixel. Oh no. It's the mark of monologue.
Installed.
So, 5 Pebbles is going to talk at us for a bunch of lore stuff. So if there is any updates or event stuff, this is a very good opportunity to chime in with them. Yes. Otherwise, we're going to be sitting here.
Well, instead of listening to 5 Pebbles monologue, why don't I tell you a little bit about some more about Girls Make Games? I think that's a much better use of our time, potentially. So while women make up nearly half of the gaming population, less than 24% of game developers in the US are women. Girls Make Games was created to address this gender gap and create a space for girls to explore the world of video games. To date, nearly 25,000 girls in 160 cities and 22 countries have accessed game dev workshops, summer camps, and tutorials. GMG's published titles have been downloaded over 190,000 times on partnered platforms like PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, Xbox Creators Program, Steam, and Google Play. By inspiring girls to engage with Steam through the fun and creativity of game design, we're creating a world where girls have the chance to discover their potential through gaming and game dev. Like I said, super important to me. Having two daughters, and one of them is super into gaming. It is to me that this is super important. So make sure to go check out the donation page and go check out the incentives as well. When you are donating, you can donate towards a target and a goal. So we do actually have a donation. Thank you so much to Melamel for $25. Here to help Grace go wicked mood for Melatonin. Melatonin's a great game. I'm super looking forward to that. And that went towards the Melatonin all levels blindfolded category. I'm looking forward to that. I can't imagine playing Melatonin completely blindfolded. That also went towards $25 towards the main sim body type being female presenting. So that is now in the lead. You can steal it back, or you can solidify the lead for the female presenting body type. I am super excited for that, and especially for Melatonin blindfolded. I think that will be super awesome to be able to see. And we only need about $75 for that Melatonin run to happen blindfolded. So go out, consider donating. If you're not able to donate, that is okay. Make sure to tell friends, family, coworkers, close acquaintances. Open up your windows and shout it out into the streets. And maybe we'll get some people in here. Well, I am super proud of the gaming and speedrun community as well. We are raising some amazing money for some amazing causes. So I'll throw it back to Dreki. We have passed 5 Pebbles monologue and we passed the backtracking. So what do we got going on?
Press passage. Please. So
it is a notorious time loss.
If we don't press passage here, the only way you can press passage again is if you either die or you save properly by eating enough food, and you can do neither in this area for a while and have to waste like another 2 minutes. But now we've passed it, we're back in industrial. We got to talk about what we kind of just saw there. So what's kind of happening was we climbed up a wall and we entered into what is a giant supercomputer that is 5 Pebbles, and we just saw his puppet. He kind of talked to us. He gave us a mark so we could talk to things. Well, things can talk to us. We can't actually talk. And we actually we learn that the Rain of Rain World is actually because of Pebbles requires a lot of water to do a lot of the calculations that he does. And so he will output a lot of water, and it'll rain torrentially every certain amount of time. And so, although we don't experience it as speedrunners because it's not a problem, if we take too long to sleep and rest, it will start raining so hard that we will die if we're outside. And that's why we have to eat enough food and then rest. We don't know how long a hibernation cycle actually is, but it's definitely quite a while. But he's essentially a giant supercomputer left behind by the ancients, an old civilization that existed in the past. And the ancients are like, try to help all creatures to ascend as we did. And just kind of left him there, along with a bunch of other supercomputers that you can see in the background of when we're at the top of the wall. And so he gives us some directions on where to go to get one of the endings of the game. However, we're not going to be doing that ending. We're going to be doing a different ending. He also puts us immediately to our maximum karma if we didn't already have it from Meeting Echoes. But right now, we've gone back down into Industrial. We're going to the last connection that Industrial is connected to, that is Shaded Citadel. And this is directly underneath 5 Pebbles' giant supercomputer structure, and which is why it is so shaded.
Fun fact, this is the first 5 karma area I noticed when I originally played Rain World so long ago. And I like to explore places I shouldn't go. So it was also one of the first places I went to. It is not a very Easy to traverse place for a novice. There is a reason it wants you to have a high amount of karma and presumably be very experienced. Our upgrade that we got, Enlightenment, also is going to help a lot because it is dark. That spear.
So, one thing, as with Dreki said with Enlightenment, so we'll notice that we're actually glowing now. So after Five Pebbles did his monologue, we went into Five Pebbles proper, his actual region, and has a bunch of his brain cells flying around. And so we can eat his brain cell, which then makes us start glowing. And so we now have Enlightenment. We've also put a second one in our stomach. Now, normally we can eat neurons to actually get food, but we also have a stomach pocket that we can store small items. And a neuron is the only small item that is also edible that we can store in our special food pocket. I probably wouldn't worry too much about the scary purple lizard. Or you have to kill on the mouse, which is good. We're trying to get out.
He died from the lizard.
Okay. But we want to bring this neuron that we've stored in our stomach pocket, even though it kind of doesn't make sense because we would have eaten it. But if we're full, that allows us to put it in our stomach pocket. But we're here in Shaded. Having the glow helps a lot for going through Shaded. As speedrunners, we don't need it. There's a lot of runs that go through. Oh my goodness. Why is there a slug pup here? It's such a weird place for them.
Wait, where's the nearest shelter? Where did he?
There's a shelter, I believe, on the screen. There he is.
No, up is it has to have been from up. Has to lead to a shelter because he had to have come from up and then came down here.
There is a shelter, I believe, top right of this room.
The fact that he made it all the way over.
It's been so long since I've dealt with it. I think he abstracted, so he'll move around. One other thing about this game is, depending on your level of quality you've set the game up, is how many rooms around you are loaded. When the rooms around you are loaded, the creatures in them will move exactly how you expect. But if they're unloaded, the creatures will move at an accelerated rate and will also bypass any geometry that may exist that may not make sense for them to be able to actually cross. And so we may have seen that slug pup there because we came from so far away from the gate and was able to actually cross. This does, in certain situations, being aware of how the game loads and where you can run into creatures and how they'll load in and move is something that is very important in some speedruns, especially when you're doing really, really optimized ones, because you'll start to see, when you're going really, really fast, you'll start to see creatures in the same spots every single time and every single run you do. Or at least there's only so many configurations. Also, we're going to see spiders here. We're going through the most tame pathing, which also happens to be the fastest pathing, so we're really only going to see the spiders there and in the next room. And all these tiny spiders, they're afraid of the light, and then they're not afraid of light, and then they all compile into a giant coalescipede of spiders, and then they attempt to kill things that are smaller than the giant pile of spiders. But we need to kill lantern mice because we want outlaw, and that just requires killing sizable creatures. There's definitely not someone horribly dying above us.
I real quick want to ask a question because I think I swear I misunderstood you. Did you say that the spiders were going to Voltron and come together to become bigger?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a bunch of small spiders. There's like a main spider that they generally all go around, and then there's a bunch of other ones that all come together, and you'll see giant just piles of them. And those ones can be scary if they're larger, if the group is larger than you.
Actually,
and they can kill
the
you.
cycle's almost over. We're just gonna rest.
Could probably make it to activate it and come back, but don't worry about it. There's also an echo here. This will be our 5th echo that we're going to get. You'd probably quit out right when you see him if you wanted to.
I need one. I was one short.
One more kill for Outlaw.
Outlaw loses half on death, though.
Okay.
I think I might visit and come back. I'm just making sure I get...
You still need one more kill,
One
potentially.
So, as with a lot of passages, it seems like there's no one hard rule. Outlaw is a bit special in that if you don't meet it, you can still get progress across other cycles, but you will need to get an additional kill because you need to kind of prime it. That is a poor throw. Lantern mice kind of only exist to be afraid. They just run around panicking, which is why they're sort of outlaw bait.
Yes. Someone has said they're the Capri Sun of Shaded Citadel. Depending on the character you play as. Some of the characters you play as can eat meat, so we can eat them. Otherwise, there's the bunch of small spiders. There's some larger spiders that exist. I don't think we'll see any. And there's a few other lizard predators that we're also not going to go around that can eat them. But they're very nice because they exist for players who may not have come here with the glowing ability that we have. Also, the scavengers exist. And they have their lanterns. So you can either be able to get a lantern from a scavenger, or you can carry one of these lantern mice around.
And like how I'm accidentally doing there. Go away. So that thing I just ate, the lotus, you may have also noticed I used it as a weapon. It's a vegetable, it's a spear, it's a very versatile item. Lotus puck, I believe, is the full name. They are only single use, however.
So as you progress in the game, you'll randomly get dreams. We just saw one there. It'll just happen after a certain amount of cycles. A little unfortunate that we see them because it is only time loss, at least real time. We only care about the in-game timer, however, so it's not too much of a problem for ranking, at least. In the past, we started to think about, when we're still doing just RTA, starting to think about how we could reduce the amount of dreams that we could run into. But that dream we saw is a dream of our character being shown another character just like their friend Five Pebbles that they work for, the overseer that was showing us it. Now, also, one other thing is, now that we have the mark communication and can be talked to, the echoes actually do talk to us. We want to leave the room the moment we see one line of dialogue, so it just ends the scene there. So for the most part, we only know the first line of dialogue from all of the echoes, and so this guy just says, "You have no name," and then magically disappears.
It's very rude to tell someone they have no name. I mean, he doesn't even have a body, so I mean, you know, stones and glass houses and all that. Okay, so we've talked about the lineage mechanic of Rain World, and some things have no spawn and can roll into a spawn. That is a kelp. Typically, there isn't anything there. We were just lucky enough to have one spawn. I don't know the percentage chance of that.
I think all of the like static ones, there's random pole plants and there's random kelps, and they all have like 10% chance to show up per cycle. So it is funny.
Yeah.
I believe that was either 2 10% rolls or 1 10% roll because you rested there an extra time.
So yeah, congratulations, y'all saw a kelp. So kelp are related to pole plants or pole mimics. We've actually seen a couple of them, which I stabbed in outskirts, and they are exactly what they say on the tin. Just leave that one. There are many a first-time player's first scare because they pretty much indiscernible from a normal pole going straight up, and it is quite scary when you go to try and climb a pole and then suddenly you hear rustling noises and then it wraps you up and then pulls you into the abyss. Kelp are sort of the more aquatic versions of them. Now, there are 2 kelp down here that are very notorious for me personally, so we do not die to kelp. All right, we didn't die to kelp. Good job. All right, I think that, you know what? I think that's a good run. Just go ahead and run it. I've had, I don't know what it is, but I stop paying attention sometimes, all too often going down there, and I just feed myself to the 2 kelp down there.
Yes.
All right, so we are in Shoreline, which has some groovy beats. Now, water in navigation in Rain World is a bit interesting. You can actually go faster by doing like an actual swimming, wiggling motion. It's actually easier on controller than it is for keyboard. I'm gonna eat this blue fruit. But something you may be used to doing when swimming in games, you know, pressing like the jump button to go faster, that will get you killed in Rain World because it basically depletes half your breath. And so then you quickly find yourself drowning.
So, yes, despite pressing jump giving you a speed boost, you get less distance overall. Even as the fish character, Rivulet, you have air, so you can still drown. Despite having a lot of air, you still will get less distance overall.
No Leviathan.
By
Very
pressing
sad.
jump. Is it sad? Is it?
Leviathan. I would say that's fun to show off. So we rode our noble steed, this jetfish, all the way across. There is a Leviathan that can spawn, a massive biomechanical entity, whose strength of jaw is best described as, yes, you are dead. In fact, I think that's basically how it's coded. It's not so much damage as you die.
It's a kill function, yes. It'll kill anything if it hits it. Which is very funny.
Indeed. We need to get up. Should I? You know what? I'm gonna get the gold pearl. Get the gold
Probably
pearl.
is for the best at this point. I believe this will be your second pearl that you want. So we want a passage called the Scholar, which every region, more or less, will have a gold pearl, a special colored pearl. In this case, this one has a gold pearl, also has a few others. But in this case, we hear about the gold pearl. They're just special colored pearls that spawn in specific locations. We want to meet 5 pebbles. We want to meet this other NPC that is right in this next room. And then we want to touch 3 pearls. All we have to do is touch them and then rest.
Nice.
And we get progress. We're going to spit out the neuron in our stomach. We're going to throw it. She's going to put it up into the air. She now has 6. We see 1 word of dialogue and then we run away. And that was looks to the moon. We've met her. We've given her a neuron to help her out from 5 pebbles, and now we're just gonna leave. So that's looks to the moon. We've now met both pebbles and moon. We can now start getting tracking on the Scholar passage. So we're gonna be putting this pearl in our stomach, and then we're gonna be passaging. Anything that we have in our stomach when we passage will come with us. So we're going to be going up to Sky Islands now. So this is us meeting Moon.
This is also something that was fixed in Downpour. So there are actually 2 possible pictures you can be served. One of them is a little bit sadder because, as Ice has called them, neurons. The thing that we ate at 5 pebbles was one of his brain cells, basically, because they are giant supercomputers. And 5 pebble or Moon is not doing so well compared to 5 pebbles, which is why the canonical event, us bringing up her a neuron, is such a big deal. And then if you eat one of her few neurons, you get a very sad little picture. It used to be bugged in that the function to check which image to show only checked after meeting Noon Moon, whether she still had 5 neurons. So whether it went down or whether it went up, if it had changed, it would give you the sad one rather than the happy one. Now,
it used to show in all of our speedruns that we hurt her essentially, even though we gave her a neuron. It was very funny. We've touched our 2 pearls a cycle after meeting Moon, so that means both of those count towards Scholar. We need a 3rd one, however. There's one here in Sky Islands. Now this is connected next to Chimney. We're getting our last Echo here as well. All of it's on the left side of Sky Islands, so we have a bit of ways to go. This is a very linear area.
I often shorten this to Dylands because there are a lot of drops. It can be quite precarious.
For the most part, if a region has... Ooh, this is not good. This guy's not going to leave anymore. Because he's seen you, he's not going to forget that you exist for a very long time. So I don't think he's going to leave right there.
Have a rock. There are no rocks up here.
But if you see a dark gradient at the bottom of the screen that's slightly pulsating...
I had to go for it.
That means if you fall off the screen, you will die. Because the game is room-based, even though it would make sense that you would fall from one screen to another screen, you won't actually transition into the other room. It's just how the game works, so you have to actually go through the pipes to go between rooms. So that pink lizard, if you know that one's coming, you've gotta not peek your head out so it doesn't see you. Because if it sees you, it'll eternally attempt to path to you and just kind of sit there and spin in a circle.
It's a very silly pink lizard. Often, it's not there. 1 unit of food.
While we're running it back, do you mind if I read some things?
Yes, go for it.
Okay. So if you're just joining us, welcome to Complete-a-thon. We're a charity event dedicated to completionist speedruns like the one you're watching right now. This includes 100% all collectibles, or even categories where you collect all of a specific collectible, such as red berries or all shrines, just to name a few. So if you're interested in getting involved or finding out more, make sure to join our Discord and follow us on Twitter to get updates about future events. Take this time as well to go check out the donation page where you can donate, and make sure to select a poll and a target. This will help you. This will help raise money for the charity as well. You can also go check out the schedule, and so you can plan out your time and find out what are you most hyped for, what are you making sure to show up, and find things that your friends might be interested in as well. Thank you so much to all the organizers of this marathon as well. And yeah, go check out the charity as well. We've read a little bit about them, and we're wrapping up Rain World. We're heading towards the ending of Rain World, I would say. So why don't we throw it back over to Dreki, as they've gotten past where they were, and we can find out how we're doing.
Well, Bob, we're doing pretty poorly.
Well, we made it past them. They couldn't have wasted more of our time. But we're moving on. There's this big separation between East and West Sky Islands, and there's only 2 ways to path. Both of them involve a really big jump, and both can be done raw if you know the movement for it, but often we'll want to try to get something that'll help us with our movement, that being a squid cicada that is up here. The white squid cicada will have more stamina than the darker ones, where if the darker ones, if you jump 3 times while holding them, they will get tired, but the white squid cicada can jump close to 7 times, and that would have to be in quick succession before it get tired. This one's trying to deposit a...
Got some food.
I tried to backflip spear one of them. Oh, no, they made it in. They'll come back out. Okay.
Ah, they were like wrapped up. Now there's a camo lizard. And the goobers got us. That's not good. And I meant to throw that left. Trying to... There we go. So it has to... You know what? We'll give him the squid cicada. We'll give him that one.
Okay. We just take the other one at this point.
Anything that can go wrong likes to go wrong. I didn't see where the second one went.
They
you know
went
what? I need
into
to...
the shelter room.
Yeah.
But there's also a third one down here.
I need to touch this
Just
pearl
there.
anyway. So this is our scholar pearl.
Yes.
Alright, got that. 3.
As we're approaching this echo, this will be the last thing we do before we go to the selected ending as well.
Oh,
We're kind of just hoping the squid shows up. The squid's probably to the left, not over here. Although we could probably take that one if we wanted to. I'd say to
we're
like
gonna have to go with the
closer
dark
to
one.
the jump that you went to is where they probably are.
And Die Islands is dangerous. And it is... Oh. There's a winged centipede.
Might have been there. Didn't
Okay,
decide
so
to show up.
I guess we can go
Not
back.
sure.
I wonder if it might be worth taking the shelter up there just to reset the area.
I don't think it'll
One
really
white's
matter.
been eaten.
It's really only the one jump.
Alright, well, it's 2, 3. Well, we'll just use. We'll be careful. We'll use one of the dark ones. I don't know where all the lighter ones have gone. Oh no! Our menace once again.
Okay,
No, he's got us.
fine.
Oh! Briefly saw a light one. Oh well. Oh, and a camo lizard just hanging out up there.
That was very funny.
You can't.
It didn't even grab you.
That
So
white lizard body slammed us off
I
the
was kind of
screen.
thinking that might happen. Also pull the pearl out of his throat, yeah.
Well, once again,
So-
while we're running it back,
Yeah.
we talked about complete-a-thon, so why don't we talk a little bit about our charity? So, in 2014, Girls Make Games was founded in order to provide girls with the space and resources to explore the world of gaming and help them pursue careers in game development. Girls Make Games has helped their alumni go on to graduate high school, college, and onto jobs in the gaming industry and wider STEAM fields. With help through your donations, the Girls Make Games Scholarship Fund will give women and girls the support they need to reach their fullest potential. Make sure to go out and check them out. They're a great cause, and make sure to donate as well. I've mentioned before, but we are still trying to reach our incentives of the Doronko Wonko. I'm probably butchering that name, but that's okay. The Doronko Wonko 100% category. We need $75 for that. I think we can reach it. I think we got this in the bag. And we need only also another $75 for Melatonin, all levels blindfolded category. I'm super excited to see that one. So make sure to go out and donate towards that, as well as our lovely poll of the Sims 4 main sim body type, male or female presenting character. You can donate and put it towards both a poll and a target, so make sure to maximize what your donation is doing by selecting both. so we can see some awesome game types, as well as help make Sims 4 just a little bit more driven for us all. So thank you so much for everybody. Make sure to go check those out, and I will throw it back to Dreki because it looks like we finally have our white cicada squid.
Yes. So we just did the jump there. We used to call this room the worst room of the game because that upper visual, the upper screen there didn't exist. You'd have to jump off screen. I wouldn't worry too much about that.
I am full of fear right now. Trying not to die. Okay. Okay.
But this cycle went exactly how we would have liked it to go.
No.
That's fine.
Okay. So, winged centipedes are a bit special. We haven't seen any adult centipedes yet, but winged centipedes, they aren't aggressive at the start, but there's a timer that starts ticking down. The longer you're on the same screen as them. And eventually, they'll turn aggressive on you. You may have noticed with the baby centipedes, sometimes you hear like a bit of a zap, and then my character gets a little stunned. The adult centipedes basically have just a super-powered version of that. When they touch their head and tail together, it will deliver a fatal shock. I'm just going to sacrifice the squid cicada, because this chimney is cursed, and I just want to get to the shelter and lock in our progress and bring us close to being done with Dylan's. And I hear something above us, and it's a blue lizard. I'm gonna wound it. And another blue lizard.
We just go around at this point. Well, that one's dead.
Could also get some scary stuff. Pop rocks. I'm just gonna throw that in the room and leave. If I had exited and gotten speared, I would have been extremely sad. One final messing us up is it was blocking the pipe, but we made it. Oh, blood and ashes. We made it. All right, so this is our last rest we need. We'll be getting Wanderer. We've got Scholar from touching 3 colored pearls. All we need to do is visit the Echo, and then we will be going to the ending of the game. Thankfully, now that the pacification of the Echo is in effect, this area is much safer to traverse.
Won't be too much of an issue. Now, the ending that we're doing because of the incentive will take a little bit of extra time than it normally would have if we did the normal ending we take. We're also going to be going through a very different area with a lot of different paths. I'm unsure what routing you're going to take when going through it.
The final Echo. Hey, buddy. Anyway, bye.
Do you hear it? Do you hear it? Right. Fortunately, we still need to either die or survive a cycle to actually be able to passage back to Subterranean. Where we did the friend car with the blue lizard.
Hey, buddy.
So we
Can you help me out?
Thanks. Something. And now we're moving on.
Did you get schlorped by a pole plant? Okay, now we just need to go to Subterranean. We should go to the friend car. Let me go to the Outer Wilds. Outer Wilds? Outer Expanse.
Outer Wilds. Alright.
So Ascension would be going right and down, which is what Pebbles talked about in his little monologue at us. But we are going to be going left and up. Let me eat one of these real quick. I'm going to be taking a safety rest at one point. All right. Our final gate. So, the Outer Expanse region is actually unlocked by one of the other slug cats. So, Ice mentioned that there are 9 slug cats. Each of the slug cats actually takes place in a different period chronologically, even though they're sort of the same areas. And one of the Downpour slug cats is the one that basically gets this place opened. I'm just going to go on the lower path. Likewise, another thing that we are saving time by having a previous to Survivor slug cat on our save file. There's a spider down there. There is an adult centipede somewhere. Probably the next room. No? Alright, we got one more room.
Really weird. Probably went up one of the previous pipes. So we're taking the lower path. The upper path is really fast, but it's also not something we've practiced too much, and it is also very, very risky.
Yeah, as with all speedruns, there's always a balance between risk. The lower path's biggest dangers are going to be the jungle leeches. We didn't really see much of the leech creatures in this run. A lot of them tend to be in other areas of shoreline, as well as the garbage wastes. But they can weigh down our slug cat. The jungle ones are just souped up ones. They hang on longer. They're just really, really irritating to deal with. So as long as we can avoid them sticking to us, we should be pretty good. You just gotta keep on going. Got one more area of scavs to say hello to. Hey guys, here's a spear. Please let me by. Please do not kill me. I'm just a level 1 slug cat. I want to go home. Alright, and then once we get through sort of this first area... So this is actually a shelter. And I believe this is how in the beta the gates were originally going to be for regions.
Yes. It's also in the lore, as you kind of say it, the old gates, the old shelters. So it works both in the fact that they were the old designs and the fact that they're in an area that is much older than the area that we traverse in the game normally.
Here's a better look at kelp if you didn't get enough of an eyeful in Shaded Citadel.
So the worm grass in this area is actually really funny. It's actually worm grass at the bottom of the water pools below us, which is not really something you see anywhere else. You don't see worm grass in water. Now we have parkour land.
Yeah, now that we've gotten through sort of the mechanical area, we're seeing more of like the old, overgrown. Whoa! That was very close. Very precarious.
Now you're just trying to scare us right at the end.
Totally calculated. Right. Meant to do everything.
There's some lizards in the next room that can potentially get in our way. but generally not too much.
You're certainly not scot-free. No siree.
So
we want to keep moving, and we want to keep moving fast, because the worm grass... Okay. Caramel. Buddy. Buddy.
Jumpy man. Okay, that almost was bad. Okay, that worked out.
It did work out.
The throwing of the spear there is to, the direction we throw stuff in, it'll push us in that direction so we get more distance and speed.
And we see a creature. It's a honker. Oh, wait. That's not their name. It's a yeek. Leave me alone, Pink. I call them honkers. The sound effect they make should be explanation enough as to why. They actually recently got a bit of a fix in one of the recent patches. Give their AI a little bit of improvement. But they are great little guys. And instead of using a squid cicada, we're going to be using this little guy to get through some wiggly patches of grass. Because they can super jump. Much better than us. Alright, alright, alright. That is...
He's already
eaten. Good boy. Is that a lizard? Nope, that's a squid. Cicada. Alright. Sometimes you can tell what kind of creature is coming through a pipe by the color. But because creatures have a variety of color palette... I thought that was a caramel lizard somehow. Sometimes the creatures sort of overlap. So pink lizards sometimes can be extremely red looking, and red lizards, which is not something that the survivor typically has. They don't have any natural red lizard spawns, but the red lizard is sort of the boss lizard of the species, at least amongst the normal slug cats. And that certainly can give you a bit of a panic if you're expecting a red lizard to come out.
So, as we kind of noticed, I was just kind of going through it, we've gotten out of the areas that are greatly affected by the rain. It's an annoying blue lizard. And now we're in kind of the areas not as affected with it. Still obviously has rain, but it's not as completely dominated by the rain coming from 5 Pebbles supercomputer.
Do a bit of a pipe juke on this guy.
Even to the point where, even if it reaches the end of the cycle, it'll only become nighttime. It won't actually become a rain that will kill you. Still have the second one. Don't know where he went. This is the big jump.
Oh, he's over there. Come on, buddy. I lost food. There is a jungle leech on me. That is most unfortunate for us.
Fine.
I don't think we can make this jump with a jungle leech on us, though.
I don't know how much it actually slows you down.
Oh, it's off
now. Yeah.
Oh, there's one more I see on me. I also need this blue lizard to not be in our way. Oh, he's seen us. There's wormgrass up there. I was caught by wormgrass.
I knew there was. Yes, it did kill you because of the wormgrass.
We were standing there, standing still too long. That is why we took the safety rest. Most unfortunate.
Can I go ahead and read a few things?
We were so close.
Yes.
Go for it.
Oh, okay. Just wanted to double check to make sure. So Girls Make Games believes in providing every girl and woman with the opportunity to discover their potential and talents through gaming and game development. With your donations, you're able to contribute directly to the Girls Make Games Scholarship Fund that provides girls and women with the resources and opportunities to pursue careers in gaming through GMG's many programs, such as their 2024 college scholarships, summer camp scholarships, and the new mentorship and internship programs launching later this year. And if I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. I have 2 daughters, and they're kind of getting, one of them's kind of getting into the age of getting into games. And so having this out there available now and in the future is super important for me. Because gaming can be a very closed area for girls and women. So I'm super into it, and I just want to say thank you so much for Completeathon for doing such an amazing donating to such an amazing charity. Go check out the donations page. Remember, you can donate towards a poll and a target. So we're looking for the blindfolded run of the melatonin, as well as the Ronco Wonko 100% category. We're still trying to meet those targets, so make sure to go donate and make sure to hit both those polls and targets. Maximize what your money is doing for such an amazing charity. You can use !donate. So if you're looking to donate, you can be sure to type in !donate in chat to get the link to the Tiltify page where you can make a direct donation. And we do have amazing incentives, so you can go check those out, and some bid wars as well. We also have a QR code displayed during breaks and the runs without a camera that can be scanned using phones for easy access to the donation link. Love that, and it's super useful. You do it right from your phone, no problem. So thank you so much for everybody for making this happen. I believe that we can meet all of those incentives and our goals, and we can raise some money for an amazing charity. If you are looking for more runs, go check out the schedule. You can see what's upcoming. There are some amazing runs that I know I'm very personally looking forward to watching, because I am very interested in the games, and the runners are known to me. So I'm super excited for that. Yeah, I'll throw it over to Dreki. What else you got?
All right, we are about back to where we were previously.
Gotta see what lizards are potentially in the way. Normally we don't run into anything. I think
that's where we're getting those.
has a leech on it. But that shouldn't matter anyway. But this jump is also very difficult as it is. I feel like you just go back and wait.
What, just pipe juke it?
Yes.
Alright, good. Wait for a second for it to charge. Oh, and we made it!
Good.
Oh, yes!
That's the big hard jump. You can fall into the pit, and then you die. You can jump back out if you do fall in the pit, but you have to... The thing about that jump is when it comes to rolls, there are 2 different tiles of rolls. That's a big centipede. And you have to do the fast roll to make it work. There's still wormgrass on you.
Yeah, I'm wondering if the centipede got killed by wormgrass because it's gone.
I think it went up the pipe. It's just hard to see on the screen transition. Might still be the 1 centipede out here.
I really hope that was... I'm not seeing the centipede.
Basically, the last thing that can be a big problem is a larger centipede in the way. I don't see it at all. It could be to the left. It is to the left.
Oh, no.
I'd get back up above. Never mind. Alright, perfect. Don't think there's anything else. But we'll have to
We have a couple more screens before we can say we're out of danger, though.
So when time happens, it'll be when the in-game timer at the top of the screen stops itself, which will happen when the player can no longer do any points. Basically, the player will get taken over by AI, and then it'll auto move them
We've got about
to a specific place.
4 or 5 more side-scrolling screens. We're scot-free. So I just want to say thank you, everyone. Thank you, Completeathon, for allowing me to show Rain World. Thank you, Iced, for helping me with commentary. Thank you for anyone who watched, whether you're supporting the scholarship, whether you're supporting Rain World, or whether you just want to see someone
time
play.
there.
And that's time. I grabbed the yeek because your character still uses the yeek, and it's kind of funny. I mean, we're sub 2 hours, you know. Yeah.
Yes. The
cat made it home.
Incentive was always going to add extra time on it, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. Yeah, that was a really good run.
Yeah, we would have seen this tree at the intro cutscene otherwise.
Yes, it had the issues, but it wasn't too bad.
Yeah. And that is Rain World Downpour with the Survivor slug count 100%. You just have to play Rain World yourself if you want to see the Ascension ending.
I think I might. Thank you, both of you, so much for such an amazing run. While this this runs through, did you have any real quick shout-outs for anything?
I should have Iced. The Rain World community, absolutely, through their hard efforts, made so much of this possible. The people who research for the RNG manipulation, the people who have worked on routing, who have worked on just the movement guides, the movement tech. Still more is being discovered almost every day in Rain World. So if this piques your interest, highly recommend checking out the community Discord. A lot of great people I've met there, and it has been a rewarding time running and chatting with everyone.
That is awesome. Thank you so much. And real last thing, where can people find you all? Do you stream? Where can people find you?
I stream on Twitch under the same handle as my handle, DrekiOrmur. I usually do just a variety of games, but every now and then I keep working on Rain World. I really like the 100% category. It's one of my favorites. Rain World got me back into speedrunning. I hadn't done it in a long while, but just there's a lot of stuff about the movement and some of the more riskier stuff that I had to not have in this in a more marathon setting. That's a lot more fun when it executes well. You may have seen a couple times where, you know, it did some of the movement tech just made me just, yes.
That's awesome. What about you, Ice?
So you can find me on Ice37 on Twitch, and then my YouTube's also linked to that. I am also very glad to have the community that has worked so much on this game and all the resources for it. And definitely, as Dreki said, the movement of this game is really, really nice. Although it may not look the flashiest, there is a lot of depth to it. It's not just press button and then you go like a dash ability or otherwise. You have to really work for it. And there's a lot of stuff that Dreki wasn't even to fully pull off or was able to do it just in a few places that can really, really speed up this run as you get into the really, really optimized level. But doing the route, learning a lot of the good fast-paced stuff is all really, really good, and I think Dreki did good with this and dealt with a bit of the RNG. It was a lot worse than we probably would have expected on some of these things, especially with Sky Islands, I feel like.
We had to get the marathon luck somewhere.
There you go. Well, thank you both so much for the amazing run, and we will get started on setting up our next run, which I believe is going to be, checking my schedule, Mega Man Extreme 2. So stay tuned for that. Alrighty, folks. Well, while we get the next run set up, I have some sad news. I will no longer be your host, but I will leave you in the very capable hands of Pro PokeNoob, who I know have gotten to game with before and have gotten to talk with quite a bit. You are in amazing hands. I will, however, be back for commentary later today, as well as hosting tomorrow. So I hope to see a lot of you in chat, and I hope that will raise even more money while I am away. So I think they're here. Thank you so much for taking over, Pro PokeNoob. I hope your runs are just as great as the last one was.
You're too kind to me, you know that?
There's no such thing as too kind.
I'm starting to feel like you're starting to define what too kind is.
Well, you know what? I'll go work on that, and I will leave a chat in your capable hands. Thank you so much, and good luck.
Thank you, Derek. Hello, everyone, at Complete-a-thon 2024. My name is Pro PokeNoob, but I've been told that this is a marathon where we get all the things done, which means I am entirely, completely... I didn't look at my thesaurus before starting this intro. I was going to give you like 9 words that are synonymous to complete. But nonetheless, we're at Complete-a-thon 2024. We have a Mega Man block coming up, but I swear to you, this is as much of a Mega Man block as it's going to be a tic-tac-toe block, because the number of X's and O's and all of the things just make me really think that we're going to see a little bit of tic-tac-toe between the enemies and Mega Man just kind of like drawing on them and stuff like that. But coming up next, our run with Rose Zorn, Mega Man Extreme 2, Extreme 100%. It's going to be happening in just a moment here. Let's talk about why we're here. Girls Make Games was founded in order to provide girls with the space and resources to explore the world of gaming and help them pursue careers in game development. Girls Make Games has helped their alumni go on to graduate high school, college, and on to jobs in the gaming industry and wider STEAM fields. With help through your donations, the Girl Make Games Scholarship Fund will give women and girls the support they need to reach their fullest potential. We've been doing really well so far. Thank you everybody who has donated thus far, up to... I've lost the number. Oh no. Oh, where'd my stuff go? That's funky. I clicked on the wrong buttons. We're up to $175 so far. Now, because this is Complete-a-thon, and, you know, the whole theme of it is doing all the things, that kind of means that it would be off-brand if we didn't achieve all of the incentives, all of the bid wars, we didn't achieve the $2,000 goal that we're going for. I feel like we can do it because we have the power, because we're here to do that together. So make sure you tell your friends, tell your parents, your family, tell your pets. They talk. I know they do. That goldfish, they've got secrets. But make sure you tell everybody you can to get their donations in. We're going to have a great marathon coming up for you over the next few days. A couple of targets that we have going on right now. Let me just refresh them to ensure nothing has changed. We have in a couple of hours, Doronko Wonko, 100% category update. We're looking for $75 to be put towards that. And as well as Melatonin All Levels blindfolded category upgrade. We love a good blindfolded category. That's even more completion than everything else, because now you've completed it while seeing and while not seeing. That's like 102% if you really think about it. So make sure you put your donations towards those when you go to the site. You put in your amount. Make sure you click those targets, any bid wars that you see, and we'll keep you updated with any of them moving along. Oh, hold on. I have actually been provided the thesaurus. This individual is incredible. So we are here not only to complete, but to accomplish, to achieve, to conclude, to culminate, to expire. To finalize, to fulfill, to integrate, and to realize, as well as to attain, close, consummate, curtains? What? Sure. Dispatch, fini. There's French in here. Follow through to I don't know how you. I guess it's just to fruition. To hips. What? What is this? This is thesaurus.com. I'm a little lost. I don't know about you, but I'm lost with it. I hope everybody's been having a wonderful day so far. They've been great. So we had a great run yesterday with Odyssey. We've had a good couple of runs already today. We're just getting set up here for our next run. Just a moment. Hey, did you know if you'd like to help with future events, we always host volunteer applications before our events? They typically run alongside submissions and are announced on our Discord and Twitter. Keep an eye on those if you're interested in running production, tweeting the tweets, or maybe even hosting live on the mic, like I am! Wow, I was actually going to say that. This thing knew what I was going to say. That's weird. Even if you're just looking to volunteer for the first time, we would be happy to help you get your foot in the door. Have to be honest with you. This is like, I'm still newer to this space. I've only done it independently. All of the marathons that I've been a part of here on No Glitches Allowed with Complete-a-thon now, all of these people have been absolutely wonderful. You would not regret being on the team. Trust us, everyone of all levels has joined together, and everybody does a spectacular job. So if you've ever been curious about doing hosting or doing any of those very, very important tech and production-related roles, reach out. Everybody's here to help. Literally everybody. It's a complete thing. See, everybody. This is going to be my running joke every time I'm hosting. I'm here.